Detective Critters. It's 1938 New York. Compete to unravel the mystery, build your action strength, find out the suspects in Sudds and Malone.
Today we'll be teaching you how to play Sudds and Malone, game designed by Adam West and published by Crosscut Games.
And hi everyone, it's Stella.
And Tarrant.
Let's get to the game.
In Sudds and Malone, players are critter private detectives in the 1930s, working the New York streets. By drafting dice to take their actions, players will gather evidence from witnesses and informants, which they'll need to solve their daily cases to earn a living. However, the more you work the cases, the more you start to see they're all connected. The conspiracy, a group of evil critters hiding in the shadows who run the whole racket. If you can sort through all the minor cases in Flimflam, you can collect the best hunches and score the most points for unmasking the conspiracy. And whoever can score the most points from their daily cases, the conspiracy and sets of matchbooks after 4 rounds of play will be the winner. To set up, each player takes a player board, filing cabinet, and all the pieces in one player colour. Your cubes will go on the bottom of your action strength tracks, and your snitches will remain in your supply. For the others, place the badge representing your character's location in east side, place your discs on the score track and calendar, and place your die in the common die pool, which will include each player's coloured die, and 1 black die, 1 grey die, and 1 white die per player. The exception is at 2 players, where you'll still use 3 of each of the black, white, and grey dice. Any dice not in the pool are returned to the box. Make supplies of the resources. There are notebooks, telephones, glasses, and fedoras, and collectively these 4 are known as evidence tokens. Throughout the game, fedoras are wild and can be spent as any other evidence token type. You'll also have cash and bullets. Each player takes starting resources of 1 of each evidence type, 1 cash and 2 bullets. And then for the evidence and cash, leave the general supplies. These resources are considered unlimited and you can use a substitute if you run out. In the case of the bullets, after distributing the starters, place 4 bullets into a supply on the board and return the rest to the box. The bullet supply is considered limited. When these run out, no more can be gained. Prepare the 4 decks of cards: Cases, Flimflam, Hunches, and Suspects. For the cases, shuffle into a face-down deck, deal a face-up market of 4 beside the board, and deal each player a starting hand of 3. For the Flimflam, shuffle and place a face-down deck, and place 1 Flimflam card into each of the 8 regions of New York. Now set up the conspiracy. There are 12 suspect cards in the game: 3 rats, 3 frogs, 3 moles, and 3 stool pigeons. The rats, frogs, and moles are the potential bad guys, so shuffle up those 9 cards and place 1 face down into each of the 4 slots of the conspiracy. Then shuffle the 3 stoolies into the remaining 5 cards and slide 1 face down under each of the Flimflam cards in the districts. Then shuffle and place the face down deck of hunch cards. Players will collect hunches through the game, and they're an important source of points. Each hunch shows 1 or 2 of the potential conspiracy members with a number of points next to it. And these score at the end of the game. So, for example, if I held this card, I would gain 4 points for each rat card in the conspiracy. A significant part of gameplay is using actions to find out who is in the conspiracy to better target your hunch cards. Finally, take the top Flimflam card, use it to cover the position in the conspiracy as shown on its back, and then flip it face up. Choose a first player and you're now ready to play. Sudds and Malone plays over 4 rounds, each representing a week of the calendar. Each round is resolved in turns, beginning with the first player and going clockwise, And in each round, each player will take 4 turns. To begin a round, the total pool of dice is rolled. Then, a player turn is broken into 3 steps, which must be resolved in order. First, to draft a die, and take the action corresponding to that die. Second, to play case cards from your hand, paying the evidence on them, to gain the rewards. And then thirdly, to cash in cards from above your filing cabinet in exchange for hunches about the conspiracy. Drafting 1 die to take 1 action is mandatory. Completing any number of case cards and then gaining any number of hunches is optional. To finish your turn, you must discard down to your various hand and resource limits, which are 4 cards above your filing cabinet, 5 cards in hand, 6 bullets, and 7 total evidence. So now let's look at each phase in detail. Step 1 is to draft a die from the pool and take an action. Across the entire round, you may only draft 1 die of each colour and cannot draft your opponent's coloured dice. As such, had I chosen this for my first turn, only these 7 would be available to me for my second. Each die value corresponds to a specific action, and before placing, you have the option to spend any number of bullets to adjust the value of a die up or down by 1. This can include wrapping around between a 1 and a 6. So if I really wanted here, I could spend 3 bullets, placing them back in the limited onboard supply, to turn this 4 to a 1. You now take the action corresponding to the die face at the strength corresponding to the current position of the cube. So here I'd take the office at strength 2, and you'll be able to upgrade these strengths throughout the game. You may also choose to forego the main action and take the all-purpose action read the news, regardless of the die value you place. So now we'll look at how each of the actions works, beginning with number 1, the office. The office lets you upgrade the strengths of your actions. So here I could do up to 2 total upgrades. For each upgrade, pay the cost above the cube's current position, move the cube, gain the immediate effect you cover. In the first and third rows, this will be points, while there's other assorted icons available in the second row, which I'll cover later in the video. And then you'll have your new strength available from the next time you take that action. That means if you do upgrade the office, your current action will still be at the strength it was when you began. The next 3 actions are relatively straightforward ways of gaining resources and cards. The Casses action is the way to gain new case cards to hand, and you may gain as many new case cards as the strength of the action. You may gain your new cards from the face-up display or from face down off the top of the deck, but you won't refill the display until the end of the action. Remember, you have a hand limit of 5, which applies at the end of your turn, and so you do still have an opportunity to solve some cases before you'll have to discard down. Action 6 is Moxie, and this is how you gain bullets. Take bullets from the onboard supply up to your strength of action. If the supply runs out, take only what's available. You have a limit of 6 bullets, which applies at the end of your turn. The other basic resource action, and you can take this with any die number, is to read the news. Simply gain 1 cash, 1 of the basic evidence tokens, so you cannot take the wild fedora, and if available, 1 bullet. The next action is calendar. Check your calendar action strength, move your marker that many steps on the calendar track, and resolve each icon you pass or cover. With this calendar 3, blue would gain these 3 actions. When moving, you skip and do not count spaces containing opponent's discs. So if red right now moved a calendar 4, red would move 1, 2, 3, 4, and resolve these 4 effects. If your movement takes you to the following Sunday's X, you must stop there and cannot calendar again this round. So if blue right now took calendar 4, blue would move 1, 2, 3 and stop and resolve these 2 bonuses. The calendar can grant you cash, bullets and victory points, as well as these 3 special effects. And you can also find these as bonuses on your office track. The magnifying glass is to peek. Secretly look at any one card in the conspiracy which is not covered by a Flimflam card. This icon lets you place a snitch. Choose a snitch from your supply and place it face up onto any map space which does not already contain a snitch. If there are no such spaces or all your snitches are in play, then this effect does nothing. We'll see the benefits of placing snitches in the coming actions. Finally, the cube icon lets you take an extra action. After finishing your die action, but before completing cases, choose any one of your 7 actions without drafting a die and take it at its current strength. The next action is investigate. This is the main way of collecting evidence which will help you solve cases, while also starting to gather information about the conspiracy. Check your action strength, and you may move up to that many spaces in an orthogonal path around the map. For each space you moved through or land on, collect the evidence token or bullets printed on its Flimflam card. If you encounter one of your own face-up snitches, you may flip it face down and collect that evidence as well. If you encounter an opponent's face-up snitch, you may pay that opponent 1 cash to gain its evidence as well. Snitches will flip face up again at the end of the round, meaning you can only use them once per round, and so you can see one of their benefits is as a way of gaining evidence or cash. Next, in your destination space only, take the Flimflam card and use it to cover its slot of the conspiracy, flipping it face up. If there was already a Flimflam card in that space, discard that one to the bottom of the deck and replace it with the one on the space you landed on. Next, if you've just uncovered a face-down suspect card, collect it. You now have the sole right to look at this card. If the card shows a rat, mole or frog, it tells you one card which is not in the conspiracy. If the card is a stoolie, then at any time on one of your turns, you may discard the card to take the peek action. Again, that means to secretly look at a card in the conspiracy which is not covered by Flimflam. Finally, deal the top Flimflam card face down into your empty space. So, to summarise, because investigate is the action with the most steps, first move a number of spaces orthogonally up to your action strength. Gain all the resources you encounter on your path. Optionally, pay and use snitches to gain their resources as well. Move the Flimflam card from your destination to the conspiracy row. Collect the suspect present, if any. And refill the space with another Flimflam. Last is Flimflam. Check your action strength, and you may gain up to that many Flimflam cards from the conspiracy. These will all cost either bullets or cash, and you immediately gain the points or other rewards printed on the cards. Doing this uncovers slots in the conspiracy, making those suspects able to be peeked at again, and gained Flimflam is placed above your filing cabinet. After finishing your dice action, you may now optionally complete any number of case cards from your hand. To play a case card, flip it face up above your filing cabinet, pay the combination of evidence tokens in its cost, and gain its reward in money and points. Remember that fedoras are considered wild. By playing this, I could meet the glass cost with the fedora, and then this wild cost with the notebook. Cases are an important source of money. While you can get bits of money from the calendar or from your snitches, remember that solving these cases is your day job, and this is where a lot of your money will come from. Then, with your daily cases done, you can now move on to the last step of your turn, which is working on your hunches about the conspiracy. These cases are connected to the conspiracy, you're sure of it, and that's why you've been filing them under 3 types of tabs, A, B, and C. When you can make a complete set of A, B, and C, you can gain a hunch. Take the cards which contribute to the hunch, so here it's A, B, and C. Any case cards move below your filing cabinet. You may collect any number of cards here, and you'll be trying to make sets of matchbooks. Any Flimflam cards are returned to the bottom of the deck. Now draw 3 hunch cards, and after looking at them, you may pay 1 cash to draw another hunch card, and do that as many times as you wish. Look at all of the hunch cards, and then, based on what you know about the conspiracy, choose exactly 1 to keep and return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Keep all your hunches face down for final scoring. You can make any number of sets and therefore draw any number of hunches on your turn, although a single card with 2 tabs can't contribute to more than 1 set. You can also recall snitches from the board to contribute to your tabs. Here I have an AB card and a C snitch on the board. I could recall that snitch, returning it to my supply to complete this set and gain a hunch card as usual. To finish your turn, if necessary, discard down to the resource limits. That's 4 total cards above your filing cabinet, 5 cards in hand, 6 bullets, and 7 total evidence. Everything else is unlimited. Once all players have taken 4 turns, the round is over. The first player marker goes to the player who currently has the fewest bullets. And if tied, pass the marker clockwise from the previous round's first player until you reach one of the tied players. Flip all snitches back over to their face-up sides and advance all players' calendar markers to the Sunday of the next round. You'll then gather up and re-roll all of the dice for the next draft. After the 4th round is complete, the game is over and players add up their final scores. Add up all of your leftover cash, bullets, and evidence and gain 1 point for every 2 tokens. Score points for sets of matchbooks on case cards underneath your filing cabinet. Any which are still above your filing cabinet do not contribute. You get 5 points for each set of 3 matching matchbooks, and 1 set of points for your single largest set of non-matching matchbooks. This will be 5 points for 4, 10 points for 5, or 15 points for 6. Here I have 2 sets of 3 for a total of 10, and a non-matching 5 for another 10, a total of 20 points. Finally, score the conspiracy. Players reveal all the hunch cards they've collected, and all of the cards in the conspiracy are flipped face up. Each hunch scores for each conspiracy suspect. So here I've got a total of 7 points per frog, with 3 frogs for 21, 6 points per rat with 1 rat for 6 points, and 2 points per mole. There are no moles, so the moles score nothing. The player with the highest score wins. If tied, whoever played earliest in round 4's turn order breaks the tie. And that's how to play Sudds and Malone. We're using a prototype copy of the game, so the rules and components may not be final, and do check out the project page for the game. We'll put a link to that in the description below.
And thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, let us know what you think, and share this video if you enjoyed, and hopefully you have a wonderful day. See you next time.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video on the Dice Tower. Hey, do you want to know what's going on with Dice Tower? Do you want to know about our events, our cruises, special things that we're going to do live here in the Dice Tower, subscribe to Dice Tower Digest. Go to dicetowerdigest.com. It's a newsletter that we send out bi-weekly. We won't use your email for anything else. This is just to get you some information about the Dice Tower so you'll be up to date. Thanks for watching.